We're going to start today's show by discussing Spurs, because despite rescuing a 2-2 draw, away at Bodø Glimt last night in the Champions League, the performance left a lot to be desired. And after coming off the back of a 1-1 draw at home to Wolves at the weekend, is Thomas Frank and his honeymoon period already over?
In by Till, hit by Paulinho! He's put it in the bottom corner!
Definitely my concern would be in the last few games that the style of football would worry some of the natives.
Bodø Glimt 2, Spurs 0 is Jens Peter Horger again.
And it has finished dramatically. Tottenham 1, Wolves 1.
You know, it's a long season, and when you're in the Champions League, and it's great for the Spurs fans to see their team in the Champions League, but it's really difficult that first time round. We saw it with Newcastle.
Level of it wise, I think still needs to be improved. I think you have to bear in mind he's got no Maddison, no Kulusevski, no Mawani.
Bodø Glimt missed the first half penalty. Spurs got out of jail. Bodø Glimt 2, Spurs.
Yeah, late goal was enough for Spurs to salvage a point in Norway against the same opposition they faced in the Europa League semi-final last year. There were some surprises to the lineup with Thomas Frank, deciding to start both Xavi Simons and Mohamed Kudus on the bench. After the game, Frank was asked about his side's poor display.
Various reasons. I think Wolves, we had no problem controlling the beginning. I think we were by far the best team against Wolves first half. I think Brighton was a different game. I think also we were by far the best team in first half, just conceded one fairly well-played goal, and as we talked about again, a goal we shouldn't have conceded. Today I felt we struggled first half, so I think that's the only time we struggled of the 3 games against a very good Bodø team. Up here, a lot of teams will struggle when they play against them here, so it's just fair play to Bodø.
I watched the highlights of this game. I have to say both their goals, Bodø Glimt's goals, were fantastic. But it could have been a lot more. They had a lot more chances. I think Tottenham will be over the moon with that point.
Yes.
But I don't know what's happening. I know they've got injuries. I know Maddison's out. I know that Kulusevski's out. Solanke's missing as well. So firepower-wise, they are lacking. But if I was a Spurs fan, I think I'd be a little bit apprehensive. Not worried. It's too early in the season. But what? Go on.
Do you know what I'll be worried about? Not as even much last night. The performance against Wolves was probably the worst I've seen Spurs going forward for like 2-3 seasons, mate. They were dreadful. How Wolves come away with a draw out of the game. Last minute goal from Paulinho. They had nothing, mate. Simmons, I'm not sure about. It's early on. We don't only judge players after 5-6 games, but I'm really not sure about him, mate.
Are you not?
No,
I've seen a bit of him to think, okay, he looks like quite a decent player, but he's still young, right?
Yeah,
I think when you've got to adjust to life in the Premier League, it's a big ask. We've seen that at Liverpool.
Sometimes, though, mate, you see a player and you're like, okay, yeah, I like what he's about.
Yeah.
But I watch Simmons, I'm a bit like, always on the floor, doesn't seem rapidly quick when I watch him as well. And I just look at the fee that they've paid for him. Could rise to 65 million with add-ons. He needs to be affecting games sooner or later. We can't just not look at players like him and start, Gyökeres hasn't scored enough, or Šeško hasn't done this. We have to look at the same energy for players like Simmons. He's been brought in as a marquee signing, really, for what Spurs pay for players. And also Richarlison, for me, big money. He cost 60 million. Started the season on fire, 2 goals against Burnley, then scores a tap-in against Brighton. And then you're like, okay, this could be the season where Richarlison kicks on, he can be the main man. And the same thing happens season after season with Richarlison. He will have a couple of good games, and he'll have 3 or 4 games where he does absolutely zero. And if he's leading your line with Solanke's injury problems, that's a scare for me for Spurs.
You mentioned Simmons, Kudus as well, both started on the bench. Is this all about a long season, squad rotation, etc., or do you think there's more to it than that?
No, everyone's doing it. Mo Salah didn't start last night.
That's right.
Every manager now is going to rotate with the quality of players they've got in their squad. Arsenal will rotate tonight. You'll see probably 4 or 5.
But they've got a great squad, Arsenal. They can do that.
Exactly. But you have to, mate, because when you're playing Thursday, Sunday, you have to make the most of your squad of players. But Kudus, no goals this season, 3 assists. So you sort of let him off because he is a very good player. But he needs to score more goals himself.
Well, last season at West Ham, he wasn't great. Season before he was, right?
Yes. But I look at Kudus and I say, okay, you know what, 3 assists, yep, you're looking lively, but we need more goals. Tell Odebear, £30 million player. I didn't see enough in his loan spell last season.
Nor did I. I didn't get that.
Go and pay 30 million for him. So I look at the options that they've got with Kulusevski injured, Maddison out for the season, Solanke injury problems. You know, they're in the big boy league now, and last night they got away with one with two late equalisers.
Yeah.
If you're playing a better team, they're probably losing 5-0 by half-time last night. You know, finishing was better from Bodø Glimt. So a lot of problems at Spurs, but defensively, they do look a lot better, even though last night they looked a bit shaky.
The problems for Spurs, are they, I mean, we've seen it before under Ange, of course. You know, they have more than their fair share of injuries. Is it a simple case of when we get players back, we'll be better?
I think if you look at their midfield, they've got so many options. Sarr, Bentancur, Bergvall, Palhinha. So I feel the centre midfield, they're fine. Defence for me, Jed Spencer's been outstanding.
Yeah.
Dogi's back now. You've got options in that centre half. Danso's available. You've got Van der Ven and Romero, probably third best partnership in the Premier League. But goals win you games, mate. And, you know, you need to have more options going forward. Solanke will come back. But even Solanke, 60 million.
I quite like Solanke.
I like him, but is he the level that's going to get you 15, 20 Premier League goals? Last season, 9 Premier League goals he got.
Yeah.
You know, they need... I was thinking in the transfer window, go and get a top centre-forward that can battle with Solanke for the starting place.
It's tough, right?
Of course.
Because A, there's not many top centre-forwards about, and B, if you are a top centre-forward, lots of clubs will be coming for you, and no disrespect to Spurs, but if you've got all the clubs coming for you, Spurs are a little bit further down that list, right?
So I would have went and got Wissa. I know he's been injured, but...
tried to get him, didn't they?
Yeah, he's a top player, mate. And Newcastle have got an option there with Voltermaid and Wissa.
Yeah.
I look at Richardson, mate, and he just gets bullied off the ball. He's not quick. He'll score the odd bicycle kick. Well, Spurs need someone who's, after having Harry Kane for how many years, they need a striker who can go, okay, he's going to score week in, he's going to score 5 in 5, score 6 in 6.
Are any of these worries anything to do with the manager? Will there be Spurs fans going, I'm not convinced about
No. The manager will get it right, but I still think they need, in January, they need more attacking options in, because if you look at Kulusevski's injury problems, Maddison's out for the season, Solanke can't keep fit. So do you say, you know what, Odebear, Tell, Brennan Johnson, he doesn't really fancy him either.
No.
They need more firepower.
Can you play Johnson down the middle?
I would do, definitely, instead of Richarlison.
Yeah.
I'm sure Spurs fans will agree. I've had banter about him in the past, about the chicken dance he does when he scores 1 in 10. But he had a great start to the season, but never continues it. You're not going to look back and say, oh, Richarlison's going to be like, oh, he's going to score 5 in 5, 6 in 6.
No,
and he's frightening. He doesn't scare you as a centre-half.
No.
You know,
as you said, he can score an overhead kick, but he might miss an open tap in.
Exactly.
There's a moment last night when the ball got sort of stuck under his legs. You see that? Did you see that yesterday?
Which one? Sorry.
Richarlison had the ball, and the ball he was in front of goal, just outside the 6-yard box, and it got stuck under his legs.
That happens so much with Richarlison. Frustrating.
Yeah.
If you're a Spurs fan, you're probably thinking, all right, bad season last season, but won a European trophy, win the Champions League. This is the time to push on. Let's go and sign an outstanding centre forward. Let's go and sign wingers that are going to make a difference. No offence to Tal, wasn't great. There's a reason why Bayern Munich wants to get rid of him.
Yeah.
Didn't do anything last season to merit being signed on a permanent.
Yeah.
Strange signing. Odebear isn't the level. He's level of Burnley where he was before. He's not the level of Spurs. Okay. Son's gone.
Where will Spurs finish in the Premier League?
I think Spurs will finish 10th position.
10th.
10th.
Say it properly. 10th. I think we've got a 10th somewhere.
10th.
Say it properly.
10th.
Okay. 03717. I thought you'd have it there, Jack. 03717. What one?
10th. Grow up.
03717 22 33 Spurs fans, a simple question. How are you feeling at the moment?
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.